A new report from the Parliamentary Budget Officer confirms what Canadians already knew, that Chrystia Freeland's so-called fiscal guardrail was never a plan she would stick to. The PBO has estimated that there is an 18% chance that the government's fiscal objective will be achieved. 18%. That's a brutal statistic to give Canadian taxpayers during this time of financial hardship. So what's the fiscal objective in question? To maintain a deficit to GDP ratio of under 1% between 2026 and 2030. Simply put, this ratio measures how large the deficit is in comparison to its percentage of the GDP. The higher the ratio, the higher the government spending is compared to what they raise in other revenues. If this government can't stay within the goals that they created, what can we trust them with? The PBO's report now makes it crystal clear why failed cabinet minister and Liberal leadership candidate Karina Gold literally ran away from parliamentarians when tabling the fall economic statement in the House of Commons last December. While the Liberal government receives an F from the Parliamentary Budget Officer on their current plan to reach their fiscal guardrail, the report does outline a scenario where they could reach this goal with an 80% probability rate. But how? Raise government revenue, taxes, by $50 billion by 2029-30. The stewards of the carbon tax, Mark Carney and Chrystia Freeland, are already planning on quadrupling the carbon tax to 61 cents per litre by 2030. Imagine how high the carbon tax will need to go to raise the needed $50 billion in additional government revenue to maintain their deficit to GDP ratio of 1% or less. Since 2015, there have been 3 Liberal finance ministers and 8 Liberal presidents of the Treasury Board. Each one failed you. Not only did they each enable 9 years of reckless spending from the Liberal government, they actively applauded and supported the policies which have grown our national debt to $1.4 trillion. Liberals are only capable of doing one thing: increasing spending and raising your taxes to pay for it. Thankfully, a common sense government led by Pierre Poilievre will fix the budget. We will axe the carbon tax, slash the Liberal increase in the capital gains tax, and reward investment in our country by removing harmful regulatory burdens and government gatekeepers. A Pierre Poilievre Conservative government will introduce a dollar-for-dollar law mandating for every new dollar of federal spending there must be a dollar of savings. Conservatives have a real plan to fix the budget and end 9 painful years of Liberal waste, which has been the architecture of Mark Carney and Chrystia Freeland. Canadians deserve an election now so they can elect a common-sense Conservative government that will axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, and stop the crime. And put Canada first.